Goodness gracious. And welcome to the SwarmCast. Randy Young here along with the unusual suspects. Jamie Majors over here. Bryan Davis, Bryce Young, the tech master himself, the executive producer, Kasey Massey.
Hello.
Is Bryan wearing the face of champions?
This is the Bryce Young Hawaiian shirt with Bryce's face all over it. Strangest thing, we walked in the building and every roach in the building ran out of here. They got a good look at it.
For good reason. If you ever want to just have no traffic on Jackson Street, put one of these on, people park like the Red Sea.
I'm going to say this. The one time me and Bryan were sitting there, I thought Bryan or somebody wanted a picture or whatever, and like we were waiting, and I made a funny face, and apparently it got put on camera, and it's haunted me since.
I was saying it to be. I thought it was cool, but then they took off on another direction.
Oh, well. Yeah. I wore it in honor of spring break next
there
week.
You
so. 10 out of 10, not cool.
There you go. But no, I don't know. No, I disagree. I like it.
Yeah.
Pretty sporty.
Nobody's stopping you from getting one of me. I mean, it's not like.
Bryce is stopping himself from getting one of you.
I'm not financially committed to that.
Let's just get honest here. Well, thank y'all for tuning in, first off. And let's say happy birthday to Dairy Queen, our sponsor for our SwarmCast. What'd you tell me? Was it 85 years?
85 years.
Wow.
And Greg was telling me today, we were just talking, and Greg said that his dad bought the Dairy Queen for Thomasville when we were in the 6th grade.
Wow.
I went to school with Greg, same grade. So
that's cool.
I was trying to do some quick math. That was not my subject.
Yeah, math was not supposed to be involved.
But I think that's 41 years.
Wow.
He's had that.
Okay.
So
almost half the time Dairy Queen's been in existence total. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
congratulations, Dairy Queen, and thank y'all so much again, Greg, for.
And this is the birthday confetti cake.
That's good.
It's good too.
And it's good. You better go get you some.
Well, the thing is, you would think this would be too sweet, but it's not.
No,
it's perfect.
Really balanced.
And is it Bryan or one of y'all been talking about doing a March Madness?
Oh yeah,
you know, with the blizzard,
the blizzard bracket,
the blizzard bracket.
March is over now.
I'll tell you, this is a #1 seed.
Okay.
That one is probably my #2 favorite behind the Cotton Candy. Cotton Candy Blizzard is #1 for me. It's my all-time favorite. That right here is really good.
Yeah. I have not had a bad one yet.
No,
I hadn't had a bad one.
I still got the same problem with a hole in the bottom of mine.
I think Kasey does too, as a matter of fact. I noticed his is over there about 4 feet away from him, which means there's nothing in it. Good
I see the lid hanging out of it.
Yeah, I see the lid.
Don't worry. I'm a connoisseur. That's why I'm as big.
Connoisseur.
That is a big word for an Auburn guy right there.
Now look, they about to win March Madness. What you talking about?
Connoisseurs over there.
Whoa.
I think connoisseurs.
Did he say it's kind of a sewer?
It's
kind of a sewer subject.
Kind of a sewer. Yeah. I think that's between Attapulgis and Auburn and what's the one right there?
Two egg.
Muscle Shoals.
That's it.
Muscle Shoals.
Where's Two Egg?
literally in between Attapogus and it's in the middle of nowhere.
It is.
Wow.
It is.
Me and
Just
CJ
that-
went down there and looked at a boat one day.
Yeah.
It took us forever to get there.
Just the Egg of Butter Road.
And Opelika, that's it. That's the other one, is Opelika. Well, first off, we've got a bunch to talk about here tonight. Coach Rogers will be calling in about 10 minutes. You were telling me that the football team's at FSU today.
They took the whole football. Eli was so excited because he was sick last year.
Right.
Couldn't go. And he is so excited to go down there.
That's cool.
We had met up until COVID hit. We had went down there every year to meet the Seminoles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had the big thing at the Civic Center every year. And every year he would go up to Odell Hagens and talk to him, and it was just like a thing every year. Odell would say, "There he is. I've been waiting on you." You know. And Eli would tell him every year, "Coach, I'm going to play here." But I don't know if he's going to get big enough.
Well, that's all right. That's all right.
Odell is so nice. I've met him several
Super
times
nice guy.
at Bass Pro Shop, just as nice as he can be, really.
Yeah, he's definitely a great guy for sure.
Cut from that old bolt of cloth,
But
too.
he is the concrete left down there of the Bowden regime.
Yeah,
and
he's
all of it. I mean,
the man down there.
He's the,
Yeah.
You know, so, but I hope that they're having a good time down there. I know that's big time. They're getting to see Florida State's. They're building their football facility. It's about probably around the 50% mark. It's huge. Football only facility. The stadium is about 75 or 80%.
It looks like they
Almost.
just got the concrete poured for the seats.
Cool.
Or like last week or something.
He's getting to see that. And last week they announced that all the ribbon boards,
The video boards?
video boards, I guess, all those are torn out of the stadium,
Yeah, it's gone.
and they're redoing all that.
I got a
Yeah.
bit of tid for you on that. Guess who happened to be pulling a giant demo video board behind their truck yesterday as I was coming through the middle of Tallahassee?
I don't know.
Daktronics.
Daktronics.
Daktronics?
Well, I was
That
thinking,
was a
Randy,
neat
since
setup.
We need to know if we can get that old DAC board
Yeah, right?
here.
Hey,
Yeah,
can
we
we get
could.
the old one FSU?
Because that
We
thing
could.
is about as wide as
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
football field.
It's
And,
massive.
I'll plan a seat with Charlie Jr. and see if he can work on that for us.
yeah, we've got
We got some inside
People
pull
down
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's-
know folks.
You better clear out one side of the stadium or something for that.
that's
Yep.
okay. We wouldn't have to have lights.
I
It'd just
would
light
also
it
like
up.
their
No, you can worry
I would
about
like
that.
their sound system that they run
Yeah,
down
that'd be nice.
and put in.
That'd be
Because
nice.
they're putting in a new one too.
Well, before we get any further, I want to congratulate our Teachers of the Year.
Yep.
This is a really cool thing every single year. This is a group photo, of course. Now, not every one of them are Teachers of the Year. Justin Quigg over there on the far left, and I think Dr. Williams is right in the middle. But you've got Holly Rossi from Hand in Hand, Carrie Johnson from Garrison Pilcher, Mandy Rice from Cross Creek, Stacy Lane, Thomas County Middle, Justin Amaro from Thomas County Central, and Chad Ward, the man, the myth, the legend himself there on the far right. Now, he teaches over at Bishop Hall. But the overall Teacher of the Year, congratulations to Holly Rossi.
Awesome.
Yep, they're from Hand in Hand. And I'm going to
Yeah.
flat tell you what, anybody that can teach those, what we used to call ankle biters, and get something out of those little guys, more power to them.
She's a fantastic teacher.
Yeah, clearly.
Fantastic.
Looks like they picked a good restaurant too to go have dinner at.
Yeah.
I know where that's from.
Yeah, downtown.
Downtown. We saw a meeting when
Yeah, not bad.
Randy and I went.
Yeah, not bad a bit. Now, I will say this, too. Going on as we speak, if you've got the soccer picture, let's pull that up, because there may be some folks that want to go see this. Thomas County Central against Thomasville downtown, and I think this is the last regular season game, if I remember
I believe
right.
so.
But the girls should be finishing up if they have not finished, and the boys start at 7:30. That's always a lot of fun. If you are sitting around and going, well, you know what, I don't know if I want to watch those SwarmCast guys or not, then you can head downtown and go support the soccer team. That would be a really good thing to do. As I mentioned, Coach Rogers is going to call. We'll get the update from FSU and see what's going on with that. We got Mikeal Lovejoy. It's going to be calling about 7:40, 7:45 or so. Track team is doing awesome. And we have got several teams that have broken track records that have been standing for a long, long time. So we'll get the update on that from Coach Lovejoy. And we've got a lot to talk about here tonight. We'll take your questions and comments, of course, and we appreciate all you folks that have been already jumping on there. And if you're watching on Facebook, share the video. If you're watching on Facebook, just hit the share button and put it on your page, and that way the Yellow Jacket fans who are not part of this page or not watching on the system page or watching on YouTube, everybody that's associated with your page will be able to watch it. So, again, just do a share with that. And You notice some new stuff here on the corners. We're going to talk about this a little more in depth as we go along. These are a couple of things that have been donated for the new Sports Hall of Fame that we're trying to develop in the new building that is being built. Hey, Lakeisha Esther. There is Caleb, the Madman Anderson himself.
Hey.
I was watching the highlights from the 23 state championship. I'm going to tell you something. One of the best moments of the last couple of years was a totally non-football related something that Joker did. And I don't remember the specifics. We had made a tackle against, I think it was on a kickoff, and Caleb had the guy from Woodward and was dragging him across the field by his arms like from behind. And I still don't know what was going on with that, but we got totally tickled because it was almost like he was trying to save him and get him out of the pile. But at the same time, he's dragging this guy across the field, and you can see the refs going, wait, what's he doing? And then all of a sudden, he kind of patted him on the head and said, go on your way. It's almost like a catch and release type
Almost
thing.
like it's probably something like being a lifeguard or something, dragging him out of the beach and stuff like that.
Wasn't it him that had that sideline debacle over there?
Yes,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
gracious. That was horrible.
Yeah.
That was horrible. But anyway.
Don't bring that up, bad thing.
Yeah, Caleb. But anyway, congratulations. And been watching some great video of him practicing at college. I mean, he's really coming on.
Yeah. Caleb was definitely our spark plug.
Absolutely.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh.
Kept us all going.
By the
So,
way, I thought it was a good play.
It was a good
Well,
play.
I'm talking
It was a
and
good
the
play.
cool thing is I'm down there with him.
Yep.
Y'all just know what you
Yeah, well, he was full of fire.
he was the man. I'm telling
full
you.
of a lot.
Yeah.
But fire was part of it. But these things are things that have been contributed for the Sports Hall of Fame that's going to go into the new building. That is a 1978 cheerleading megaphone. The bag that Jamie had down there on the floor, that is a basketball bag from the 1970s that was found at the dump. I'm talking about the county dump. Thank you. Appreciate that. Pat Christopher, who's
It's
a
an
good
improvement.
definitely.
Speaking of old bag,
Yeah. And
It's just an old beat up leather bag.
we ain't got enough bags for that shirt either. I'm just saying. But
Well, let me tell you, I was telling you, I thought it was kind of small.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could get my 13s and my clothes.
yeah,
in there,
well,
but
that's for
But anyway,
basketball. So you got a pair of sneakers and
Sneakers.
your uniform, and that was it.
that's cool.
Yep.
But it's a nice bag.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
and
Nice bag.
Pat Christopher, who works for the county, found it. And he said he saw it plain as day and went, wait a minute, what is that? So he grabbed it and contacted me and asked if we'd be interested in getting it.
Man,
I said,
that's
sure.
awesome.
That is a 1960s helmet. What's cool about that, it has the original Vegas gold paint under that yellow.
Yep.
So that's a helmet that goes back to the 60s that was used in the 70s. And that was found at a yard sale.
That may have been one of our first. We
Could have
don't
been.
know that.
Could have
I'm
been.
Sure, it could have been our first team's helmets.
Well, it definitely goes back probably about 50 years. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then this is really cool. Boo Taylor, who played for Thomas County Central and played professional baseball with the Oakland Athletics and the Atlanta Braves. This is an Oakland Athletics jersey, game worn,
That's awesome.
from Boo Taylor that is signed, and one of our fans had it and asked if we'd be willing to use it. And
Man,
Lou
that is
and
awesome.
Lou Nunley, who's a good buddy of mine, Lou has been very implemental in the development of the Hall of Fame for Thomasville football downtown. He contacted me and said, would you guys be interested in? I said, heck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really awesome.
That's
Cool
just
stuff.
really neat. So that's what we're talking about, folks. And if this stuff was in people's closets, and we've been talking all before we even started here tonight about
Yep.
different things that we know of that folks have, we're by no means asking for these things just to be given. They can be loaned, and we'll give acknowledgement to your family for whatever it may be. But to me, all this stuff that's stuck away somewhere that's been gathering dust for decades in some cases needs to be put in front of these young people so they have an appreciation. How can you appreciate where you are unless you appreciate where you come from?
That's right.
And to me, those types of things are very, very important. And if you have uniforms, if you have cheerleading stuff, band stuff, regardless of what it is, I thought you were about to holler out.
I
Give
was
it,
going to do the Ron Shank.
give it a little toot one time.
Nah, I'm good.
Not the old tutu.
Not little-
But if you have something that could be used and maybe should be used, just let me know. Get in touch with somebody that can get with me or any of these guys, and we will more than likely we'll get back in touch with you, and we'll try to get the wheels rolling because they made a lot of progress on that building,
Yes.
Kasey, in the last
Yeah,
month
they
or
have.
so. And the Hall of Fame area that's going to be set up inside that building is something the kids are going to see every time they walk through it.
How long is that, by the way?
Oh my gosh!
So it is probably
Oh, here
so
comes.
the Hall of Fame is going to be 200 feet.
I was going to say
Two-
a couple of 100 feet.
Yeah,
At
okay.
least a couple hundred, and maybe a little more than that.
So
Don't-
plenty of space.
I haven't-
Oh
then.
my gosh.
Yeah,
I mean,
There's
it's-
16 TVs in the hallway, and I think the Hall of Fame has 10 of them that they're
Okay.
using.
Yeah, you're talking 3/4 of the length of a
Yeah.
football field.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, that should be plenty
now,
of room.
Yeah.
now one hallway, so they'll have cases and
Yeah.
with all the stuff we get on it.
Yeah,
and
and-
video playing on it.
Yep.
So that you have the history.
Yeah, there's
So-
going to be video boards involved where we're going to be rotating the photographs out of
There'll be
each
stuff
one
in
of
the
these
lobby,
folks
too.
that are a part of the Hall of Fame,
So-
but items from the past of the county and the athletic programs and the band programs. I mean,
Any program.
yeah, they're all going to be
gymnastics
right
is-
there by each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that would be.
That's cool.
yep,
Yeah.
that's going to be really, really cool. Couple of other things here before Coach Rogers calls in. Girls flag football interest meeting will be Wednesday and Thursday after spring break. Spring break is next week. So next Wednesday and Thursday, well, actually Wednesday for the high school, Thursday for they're going to do middle school flag football? Okay.
Yeah, well,
And it's probably, is it the interest moving up?
Maybe, yeah, it says middle
Well,
school 8th graders.
yeah.
That's what it says.
Well,
Okay, I was going to say, wait a minute. I hadn't heard a
and,
thing
and
about
after
that.
the inaugural season and the success they had,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's going to spark a lot of fire.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's, I think that there'll be a lot of girls probably come out and
Yeah, probably already
they'll
has.
be a part of
Mm.
it. So
By the way, Elaine Massey points out that the executive producer graduated from Full Sail University 10 years ago today.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that,
It
Kasey
helped if
Massey?
she spelled "sell" right, but I'm not.
Well,
I'm a
hey,
sporty
as
girl.
much money as they cost, you can spell it that way. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
it was
that.
10
Yeah.
years ago today,
That's
about
right.
2:00.
That's
I think is
crazy.
what it
Yep.
was.
And Lakeisha, yeah, that bag is definitely vintage. There
it's
is,
definitely vintage.
of course, I guess, Jamie, me and you are vintage too now. Are we going to be on display at the Hall of Fame? Is that the way it's going to work? Just stand there and wave at everybody when they
You're,
I'm scared
you're
to
on display wherever you go.
I
True.
mean,
Yeah, but not like Bryce.
there's something in there. I'm scared to open it.
No, it's
There might be something
Hey,
vintage in there.
hang it out there.
This is Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah.
it's a pair of 40-year-old Converses stuck in there that have taken on a life of their own.
I think I'd rather find Jimmy Hoffa.
It's a new life form.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually bubble wrap. So
Okay.
yeah, just to hold the top of it up. But
I
anyway,
mean, I was told they
shame.
wanted the radio guys' ashes to go in the Hall of Fame. When he
oh my
dies.
gosh. Well, that could happen after most any ball game. You just come just collect it up in the press box.
The only ash up there is where you hit the sheetrock and knock it off the wall.
Yeah, sorry. Guilty.
Holy smoke.
Got to
Yeah,
clean
that-
my glasses. Yeah.
That may or may not have happened.
Try to get an escape route planned
Well,
up there.
Or picking up the glass out of the
I've
press
seen
box
glass.
at Cairo. Yeah.
I've seen
Jumped
glass.
through the lights in the press box in Cairo. I remember that. And Alan Corbin looked at me, glass everywhere, and he said, "Are we still alive?" It looked like a Scud missile had hit in there.
Good.
That's good. That was about that time.
It was
too.
Antonio Pope. He jumped up for a pass, and I jumped with him. And of course, the lights were too close, and I just went right through them. Anyway,
So you saw the light.
I saw more than the light. The light saw me and couldn't get out of the way. But anyway,
Good stuff, man.
baseball will have their senior night recognition on Friday the 18th. That will be against Cairo, and game time for that one will be 5:55. And we will be talking to Cy Jones, not this week, but 2 weeks when we come back.
Yep.
Also, you need something to do. JV's playing
Playing tonight. That's right. That's
Right.
right. Playing at home.
Senior night already. That's a quick season.
I know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Tennis just had their senior night on Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
Thomasville was there, and they did a whole presentation and
That's
all
right.
that. So,
Golly.
So it's
I mean, think about it, guys. We are literally now about, 6 weeks from that spring game? Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
In summer,
That's
too.
about
In
right.
summer too.
Yeah.
I was hoping it.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is going on right
now.
now.
yeah,
Right.
that's what it feels, like.
it for sure.
Oh, my gosh. Gracie Major says, "Go, Dad."
Uh-oh.
Speaking
What's
of
up,
lights,
Gray Dog?
TCC, yeah, the lot of discussion going on about the renovation and remodeling possibly at the stadium. There's a lot of stuff that's being talked about, and the lights will get redone when that happens. It's just a matter of when that happens.
When that happens, that is being done. It's
Yep.
just it'll be when we do the rest of the stadium.
Yep. And before Coach Rogers calls up cross country, if you've got those two pictures, Cross Country wants to congratulate this year's valedictorian and salutatorian, Cadence Cornelia and Dylan Thompson. These two runners excel both on the course and in the classroom. Selected all region this year. Cadence was also the most valuable runner 4 years in a row for Thomas County Central. But you want, and again, that's pretty sporty for the valedictorian and salutatorian to both be part of the cross country team. So congratulations to both of those kids. That's just awesome. I'm flat telling you.
That's hard to beat.
And Dylan Thompson, he is a national merit student. He is being considered for up to $38 million worth of scholarships. I'm not lying. He's the first student from Thomas County Central to be selected for this thing in the last 10 years.
Wow.
So Dylan, you got it going on, man.
Wow.
And Cadence, good gracious, again, she is one of the all-time best distance runners that we have ever had here at Thomas County Central. No question about it. Let me see here. What else we got going on? I want to – you got the broadcasting field trip?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick. This is very cool. Christy Fawcett and Nick Cooper took our broadcasting classes from the high school down to visit WCTV. And you see them there on the picture. And
Rob.
I cannot remember Lenitra's last name.
Lenitra Bennett.
Lenitra Bennett, that's it. Lenitra Bennett and Rob Nucatola there. All of those students were able to hang out with them and kind of visit and look behind the scenes. And what was cool, of course, was they were walking around going, hey, that's what we do.
Yep.
We do that. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
And they walked out going, this is what we do.
Yep.
And so that
they
was
got to see every little piece and intricate part of the entire how they do the show.
Were they there for a live broadcast?
I think they were.
I think they were.
They weren't in the studio, but they were behind the scenes, kind of where the director and all that stuff was going on. Yep.
Did they still go to Valdosta State or not?
No.
Because I remember whenever
They
I
go
was
to.
in there, we went there one
I
year.
think they went to Southern. Last
Georgia
year.
Southern. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Well,
where
cool.
they.
Going
That's
around,
where they've
that's
been
pretty
going. Because Chrissy's from Southern, Nick's
Right.
from Southern.
Well, Valdosta
Okay.
State's program right now is kind of in transit, or in flux.
I hadn't followed along with it. I just knew when we were in there, we went over there
Curtis
one year.
Brooks Sr. Did you
So
watch
dog man.
Okay.
Right there. Curtis, I know all about you now, brother. Next time I see you, we talking.
Yeah, he called me last week and said, "What's Jamie talking about?" And I said, "Well, you're a movie star, man." And he said, "Man, don't start all that mess."
Curtis, that stuff is so interesting. I'm telling you, man.
Yep. And what we're talking about, if you get a chance, go onto YouTube and do a search for African American dog trainers, Thomas County, Georgia. And there is a documentary that has been done about Curtis and other guys around here that are almost legendary in the dog training circles. And it's a heritage that's a part of our community that not too many people know about.
That's right.
And not enough people know about, I guess is the way to put it. But if you want to see a real star, you'll see Curtis Brooks Sr. in there doing his magic. Curtis Brooks Jr. is also part of that.
Absolutely.
And anyway, good stuff, real good stuff. And hope you're doing good, Curtis Sr. It's so funny. He'll call me up and he said, "Man, what are y'all doing getting all these kids these scholarships? What, like we got something to do with that?" And I said, "Man, that ain't got nothing to do with us." But lots going on there too, and we'll talk about that later on. But let's see what else we got, guys. Let's talk about JROTC. If you got that, Kasey. This is really cool. This was shared from Lieutenant Colonel Ingram, who shared that they capped the program at 107.
Wow.
Maximum number.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Raider team finished another successful year, 4th straight male team region championship, back-to-back mixed team region championship. The drill team finished the season with region championships in color guard, female color guard, unarmed platoon regulation, and runner-up in armed squad regulation. Program earned honor unit with distinction. Now, this is really cool. This is the top honor for Army JROTC programs and usually only awarded to the top 15% of programs nationally. And you got to remember now, our program is fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
Only been in existence the last handful of years. And Lieutenant Colonel Ingram, and there's a picture of some of the JROTC
guys. I'm telling you, looking at this picture, they're all buffed up because we scored so many points.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
all them push-ups.
They're having to do push-ups.
Yeah.
After every I'm telling you,
I give them credit. They do it every time.
Every time
they do.
They started out little arms. By the end of the season, they was like
Popeye.
And when we get to the high scoring games, they start doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, man.
because they just can't.
Well,
can't
I'm
do
about to
it.
say at that point,
They
I can't necessarily
But
blame them.
it's 10 o'clock at night. You done what? 70 of them.
But
That's the truth.
I've watched some of their workout routine. It's behind the baseball
Mhm.
field.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they do some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hey, they work
And
out now.
It's a team thing,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
and it's amazing how one will pick up the
Yep.
other. And
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the
It's-
cool
it's a
thing
pretty-
about it. One of
pretty
their
good thing.
guys was a Eagle Scout, and his Eagle Scout project was doing their course and putting signs up for like what they were supposed to do
Oh,
during
okay.
competition. and
Marking
stuff.
the
Yeah.
route.
That's cool.
Oh, that
It was
is cool.
something that they got to
That's
do.
awesome.
Yeah, that's really neat. But congratulations to Lieutenant Colonel Ingram and everybody that's a part of that JROTC program. They will have a new home in the new building.
In the
That's
new
awesome.
building.
And
That's awesome.
he pointed out in the last paragraph or the last sentence he sent me, he said, next year with a new facility and planned resources, we will be expanding our opportunities.
That's awesome.
Yep, they'll be able
Mm.
to almost probably double in size because they get 2 classrooms.
That's pretty cool.
offices, because they have to have offices for each instructor. So
Yep, that's pretty
they're
cool.
Well, I think
big spaces.
I'm not sure how this works, but I think every year, and I'll ask Coach Rogers when he calls, but just remind us of that.
Mhm.
But I think the football team has to run the ROTC course, or they do something.
that sounds like they
they do like a boot camp thing.
yeah.
Well, they have
I've
to
heard
run-
that. Yeah,
And now Eli, this year Eli will be eligible to do. I don't think the freshmen have to do it, but
yeah.
and I've heard people talk about that. Eli said it's amazing
Yeah.
how tough it is. So he gets to do it this year.
Did you finally get him?
What the heck was that?
Nothing.
There he is right there.
Hey.
A
thought it-
pterodactyl.
It's a
Get him, Brian. Get him.
He got
Yeah, I was
that
going to say,
great.
hit me on the head.
It's a fruit fly.
A French fry.
Fruit.
Let me tell Mikeal Lovejoy.
Straight
that-
out of Gainesville.
You ain't kidding. All right, I was communicating with him because Coach Rogers just messaged and said, I'm driving a Yellowhound. Give me 10 minutes.
A Yellowhound.
So they must be on the way home from FSU. That's cool. But congratulations to the JRTC kids and their instructors. Great job.
Great guys.
Congratulations again to Dairy Queen, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show.
Happy
This is
birthday.
Dairy Queen's 85th birthday, and Greg Davis fixed us up with, what's it called, birthday cake?
Yeah, birthday cake.
Confetti birthday cake.
Confetti birthday cake blizzards.
Oh my gosh.
And again, when you told me what it was, I was thinking, my gosh, that's going to be really sweet. But
That's
it's very
good.
balanced. Yep, very, very
He
good.
when I called him down, I said, all right, Greg. I said, I know the summer flavors have hit. Said they have.
Here, pull that thing over here.
And he told me, he said, what you thinking? And I said,
And he knew he'd been thinking about it. That's why I asked him.
and I think about this stuff. So but I said, somebody's already told me about the confetti birthday cake blizzard. He said, that's what we'll do. And he said, because it's Dairy Queen's 85th anniversary. So I said, tell you, they do a great job.
No, they do.
Yeah.
So does that mean your cotton candies here?
Oh, yeah.
It should.
It
It
should.
should.
I
That's
wasn't
right.
going to mention any more of them.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
surprised
Thanks,
you.
Bryce.
There you go.
Surprised-
Well-
Bryce, there's your buddy right there.
Got him.
Nope.
No,
No,
scooted him
no.
over here.
There may be more
Back
than
over
one.
here.
Somebody's left some fruit somewhere.
Or something else.
But anyway,
Mm. And again, if you guys are watching on Facebook, I dare you to share this.
Oh.
Share it on your page.
What they do on the SwarmCast? They choose fruit flies. Fruit flies.
Fruit fly.
we'll
The
be
root
here till
fries?
8 o'clock.
I swear to goodness.
I mean, we can donate about 5 minutes to get this thing now.
That's okay.
Donate.
Donate. Yeah.
Sponsored by Astro.
When the pests grow.
They'll start doing the gator chop. Oh,
Hey,
my
speaking
gosh.
of that, though, we got the Final Four game, Auburn
yeah.
and Florida.
Yep.
6 o'clock
Yep.
Saturday.
Yep.
And
Sharp,
I have to
6 o'clock
say,
sharp.
my bracket's got I got every one of them.
All right, who you got? Who got moving on?
Who you
I
pick?
got
Out of that
Duke,
game.
I got Duke and Florida winning, or playing for the championship,
And who's winning
and
it?
the ACC winning it.
Duke. Well, they're good now.
They're going. It's
Well.
gonna be hard.
Yeah, they're every one
to
of
beat
these teams are very evenly matched from this point
Absolutely.
forward.
Well, it's like everybody's so different because you got Houston, they got great defense.
Yes,
you got
sir.
Duke, their bigs are their best players on the team.
Yep.
Florida,
Well-
their best players are shooters.
Yep.
Auburn, they're all around good.
Yep.
Well,
Looks like everybody's
what's going to hurt Auburn is Broom's hurt,
He's
We
banged up.
Don't know how hurt.
Yeah, of course he comes out and hits the 3-point
Right,
shot after he gets
right.
on the tree.
And gets
on
one-handed
block.
rebound.
One armed, yeah.
But here's the thing: everybody was so upset about, hey man, what happened to our Cinderella people? What happened to the Cinderella teams? Not gonna have that no more.
With
Because
transfer. Yeah.
when a guy gets picked and he's playing on one of these small teams, he gets thrown a bunch of money to go play with the
That's
big
right.
boys.
Like, look at Florida. Our highest recruit was a 3-star recruit, and it was our power forward
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
We got like 3
I'm
0-star
impressed
guys.
with Florida, man. They come out of nowhere.
Mhm.
I would have
Yeah.
never thought they'd be there, but man, they play really good.
Chester
Um,
Hightower, by the way, says he likes the cotton candy too. By the way, for what it's
The
worth.
best. It's the best.
Oh yeah,
Chester would seem like that cotton
Oh,
candy blizzard kind of guy. I can see that. I can see
Mhm.
that. That's good stuff.
I'm good
Not
company. That's good
packed-
company.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I will say this, and I've been watching a lot of the videos here lately from the college coaches talking about the NIL stuff.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, you're going to see less and less high school players, basketball, baseball, football, whatever it is, being recruited.
Yeah.
It's going to become less and less and less.
Yeah.
These guys are going to have to get into whatever school they can get in,
Yeah.
prove themselves, and then hit the portal to have the big guys coming after them.
Well, you
Unless
know-
you're one of those 5-star
Yeah.
Or four-
recruits.
Your 4 and 5 star
Yep.
guys will get
The
all
only
the
one.
attention.
Yep. Everybody else is just going to have to take what they can get.
Yep. and
And-
move up.
Yep,
as you
and
can.
move up. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Unfortunately, I seen Danny Cannell talking
Mhm.
this morning a little bit about there's a huge push for players having to sign contracts
Yep.
That'd
to
be
keep
the,
them from moving
that'd be the
every
be-
year.
Yeah, that'd
So,
be the best. I think that's a good deal.
Yeah, and
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I read or I listened to a thing from Kirby Smart just this past week, actually the day before yesterday, where he was saying that everybody right now is kind of on pins and needles, waiting to see what the ruling is going to be to make some sort of guardrails
Yeah.
put in place.
Yeah.
Because
It
right
needs
now
it.
it's the Wild Wild West.
But they messed up when they released it because it should have had guardrails to begin with.
Right.
You are
That's the
correct.
problem.
Right.
You are correct. You are
But
correct.
that's a story for another day.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. To me, college ball, the whole point of it is to get some kids that grew up being fans of the school and want to come to the school
Want to be a part of
Yeah.
that program.
and be part of the school and history of the school. Now,
Which is
they care less who you are, what you've
Yep.
done, or where you've been.
Yep.
which a great lead into Bryce. Tell us what's happening with the recruiting trail at Thomas County.
Oh my gosh, good luck
It's
on that.
hot,
Yeah,
baby. It's hot.
I'll be honest, I hadn't put any of that, but I know Jalen Sunday, I believe. I know it was this past weekend, but I think it was on Sunday. He went to Elite 11 camp in Atlanta.
Awesome.
And what Elite 11 is, it's pretty much as it sounds. At the end of every football season, that company gathers 11 best quarterback prospects, and they all go to I think it's a week or elongated weekend camp.
Yeah.
And it's all like scrimmage game stuff, and they've done it for years.
Man, that's awesome.
I just can't remember who won it.
And we had a player named to the top 7.
Oh, that was Dunbar. Yeah, Rodney
Dunbar,
Dunbar. Yeah, top,
Rodney was
top juniors.
top junior.
Yeah.
Be a senior next year.
So it's good to have your quarterback
Yep.
invited to an Elite
And I
11
can't-
camp and your wide receiver.
Yeah, no doubt.
I can't remember if it happened between our last show or not, but and then JB getting offered by Florida State too.
Mhm.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, that's one he's been waiting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both just went down there like last week.
Mhm.
Yep.
Obviously back to
Does anybody got the thing that Coach Rogers and them were posted on Facebook?
Oh, I got
with
'em.
the weights.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let me say this real quick. Mikeal Lovejoy, if you are
Yep.
watching, wait until about 7:50 to call. Coach Rogers is trying to get everybody loaded up on a bus to get them home. He has not been able to call yet because it's timing out just about the time that they're coming home. So, Michael, if you're watching, wait till about 7:50 or so to give us a call if you don't mind. But yeah, if you want to bring some of that stuff up, Kasey, the performance from the here's your MP, the miles per hour.
Kids.
I mean, but here's what's crazy. Now, the top 3 classes there, the 23 mile per hour, 22, and 21, that's pretty doggone fast.
That's elite.
Mm-hmm.
But 19 and 20 ain't bad. And
Yeah, I think-
there's 77 guys who are making 19 miles an hour.
I think
77.
I think Eli said that the twins
Yeah.
that are sophomores,
Mhm. The Andrews.
the Andrews twins, are both running 19 and 20.
Wow.
But
And
but
that's-
Jamie, there's got to be offensive linemen in those numbers, man. For 77, there's got to be.
Eli finally said he got to 16.5.
Mhm.
That's where Eli's at. and he's not by far one of the fastest offensive linemen, but he said that that's the coaches want him in that 16 to 19 right in there. Because an offensive lineman, you just got to go about 5 yards. You just need to do it really fast.
Burst, yeah.
Quick.
Burst.
Yep.
But we do have a linebacker that I'm hearing that 6'4", 245 that runs 21 miles an hour.
Good gracious.
I don't want that guy coming to get me.
That sounds like
guarantee
Ray Newkirk.
And he is hungry.
If he is chasing after me, I'm pushing 22, 23 at that point just to get away from him. I'm having to.
I was going to say, if it's going like that, I won't be in my truck running 22, 23.
But it's impressive what we got going on.
I don't know. I don't think y'all understand how fast 20 is.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You've got between 77 guys and 4 going 19 miles an hour, which has to include some big lines.
It's got to.
Got to.
I don't know if I can go 20 miles an hour on a bicycle.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding.
You know?
And then 43 at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, find me a hill, push me down.
Downhill.
It's impressive. Now,
That's crazy.
the speed of this team is kind of like our 94 team.
Yeah.
Yeah, our 94 team was extremely fast.
Especially on the defensive
like,
side.
Our daggum, the last day, our 20.
I was going to say, what about 23?
Yeah.
Let's go to the weights here with the squat and
They
everything.
call it the clingers, right?
Look at this. That's crazy.
Wow.
One of those 500 was the freshman.
Oh, we're going.
One I know of. There might-
You got that one, Prince Che?
I got that one.
Prince
Yeah.
Che.
Watch this.
Yep.
This is a freshman,
You got the video?
500 pounds.
Is that Rogers?
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Justin Rogers.
What's going on?
Not a thing, man. Did you make it back in one piece, or you get to the bus in one piece?
Oh yeah, baby. We ran our bus route and got them babies home.
There you go. How did it go today?
Good. It's something I've been doing for years. Even when I was up in Middle Georgia, we'd go watch Mercer with Bobby Lamb and them. And Coach Norvell's been awesome here the last 3 years. We've taken the whole team to go watch spring practice. So that way more is caught than taught, right? And so that way they see what a practice should look like, the professionalism, the effort, the attention to detail. And so I just think it's always good to see those things before we're about to get ready to start our spring practice.
Right. Well, we were just, the timing was perfect for you giving us a call. We were ranting and raving about the strength figures that you guys have been posting online about the squat and the clean, 500 pounds, 300 pounds, and then the speed numbers from these guys, Coach, just very impressive.
Yeah, we've got a good group right now. I mean, they've got really good numbers. They're working extremely hard.
Got to be
for sure. And a lot of these guys, it's it's that culmination. You've got some guys that are just freaks, but you got a culmination of a lot of guys that are just being part of the system.
Right.
Coach Floyd does a unbelievable job in our weight room. Yeah, the kids just really buy into it.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, Coach. We need to brag on Coach Floyd. I mean, the job that he's doing with that strength and conditioning thing is just so impressive.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Like I say, me and Jay go back. Me and him were assistants together at Harris County. Mm-hmm. And got to know each other and both just coaching offense together and just really hit it off. And so when I got my first head job at Jones, I mean, he was one of my first hires is to bring him to be the strength coach and make him there. He is just he's a giant in the strength world. Like the people throughout the state of Georgia. Yep. If you're in strength and conditioning, you know who Jay Floyd is.
Yeah, Coach.
And so he does.
We don't mention them on our show.
Who?
Harris County. We don't mention those. We don't mention them.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Man,
that's
we got terrible luck against them.
Yeah, for a few years, that's for sure. Well, Coach, let me ask you this. One of the big topics of conversation here in the last couple of weeks, and I think we talked to you about this 2 weeks ago, was the Georgia High School Association stuff and what they're talking about, reclassification talk. Has there been anything else added on that you've heard?
No, a lot more confusion.
Yeah.
I mean, they had that little meeting, but I think it turned into a powwow session. More of complaints or we got to look into that. No answers.
Right.
So I think your second verse, same as the first. And, the way this thing's kind of trending, it sounds like to me just going to kind of hold serve, I would think, and probably do this again for another 2 years.
Right.
Which I don't think is a terrible deal. I mean, dang, you decided that this was the way we needed to go, and you gave it all of 1 year.
Right.
If this is what you think we need to do, let's give it a shot and see what it looks like.
Right.
I like the competitive balance. I think the competitive balance, if done correctly, could be good, but we've talked about this before on here. Like, you got to go with FTE. And then in 8 years, it will self-correct itself to where people need to be. But you can't try to start the race midway through, and I don't think that's what I don't think they're willing to start it correctly.
Well, and two, I think you hit on a very key point right there. Whatever you implement, you got to give it time to work.
Yeah, that's something. I was at a meeting on this thing a couple weeks back. Coach Pardue, Steve Pardue, that was at LaGrange. We got to know each other really well in my time at Harris. And so Pardue looked over at me and said, "What was wrong with the old way? Like, why did we change it?" I'm like, "No crap, brother." I said, "Preach." Put everybody what FTE says and play it. But then we just, this ain't fair and this ain't fair. And next thing you know, we've got this warped system when the old way I didn't think was broke.
Yep. And again, if it ain't broke, why in the world are you trying to fix it? That's true.
Keep trying to appease people. You can't appease everybody.
Yep. No doubt.
So let me ask you, Coach, if you was the top guy up there, do you think that the new system that's been booting around a little bit, do you think it's overall a better situation for everybody?
The one we're currently in?
No, the one that they're kicking around.
Not the one they're kicking around, but the one that done correctly would be the competitive balance.
Yeah.
And I think the competitive balance, if you start this, next year with FTE, everybody's going to play where you play FTE straight up.
Right.
Now, from there, we're going to start doing points for championships and points for semifinals and vice versa. Then I think 8 years from now, with accurate data, then you would have the competitive balance. The programs that are dominating 1A, 2A, and 3A would move to 3A, 4A, wherever they would fall. You see what I'm saying? Like, people would naturally get to where they're competitive.
Right.
There you go.
But right now, they're doing a speculation. They're just guessing.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
But the data would prove itself out if given time to do it correctly.
Right. I'm with you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you got to start from ground zero.
Right. Not in the middle of it.
And the single A's ain't having that because they're so anti-private schools, and the private schools just want to get back in. It ain't really a big school problem. It's more that.
Right. That makes sense. Well, listen, I'm going to ask you one quick question, Coach, and then I'll let you go. And this is loaded. And this is going to be a question that everybody's going to answer here at some point in time. If you get a chance to go back and redo one game from your sporting career or your coaching career, one game that you get to redo, which game is it and why? That's a tough one, ain't it?
There's a couple different ones I could think of. So, it's almost like you got one at various stops.
Right. I can see that.
So here it'd be that deadgum Roswell game.
Yep.
Because, we had that by one. And then just got snake bit in the second half. And so hated that one. Obviously, thanks to Hughes also, but the Roswell game, we just gave it away.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And so that one sticks with me. My first year at Jones, we're playing Mays in the quarterfinals to go to semis, and we're up with 4 seconds left to go at the plus 25. So last play, we bring an edge blitz off the edge, and it gets home. We hit the quarterback just clean as a whistle. And testament to him, man, he stumbles, finds his feet, rolls to the right, hits the guy in the back of the end zone, wins the game.
Golly.
So that one sucked. Yeah, that one sucked year one. So that's why I say it's always like stops, because that's the one I think of at Jones. The Roswell one still sticks with me here.
Yeah.
My son makes sure he knows when he sees Rod, we lost to him. Thanks. And so he lets me, I don't ever get to forget it. So those two would really stick out a lot.
Yeah.
Right now. Just two that just really irritate me, because I know
you had them.
like I think we lost the game more than they won the game.
Right.
And then that's the ones that tick you off.
Right.
If somebody plays really good and beats you,
Yep.
it's like you can respect that, right? Game respects game.
Yep.
But a game that you felt like you gave away, it's like, that sucked.
Well, you see, now I kind of feel that way about the Langston Hughes game. I mean, they were really good now, and I walked out of there. I mean, we had our shots, but it wasn't. I didn't feel like we had control of that game at any point. But that Roswell thing, that was in our hip pocket, no question.
Yeah. No doubt. That's what I'm saying. The Langston game, we didn't throw the ball well when we had a couple missed tackles. But testament to our kids, we didn't play on. I mean, that was not a good night for us. But because of our kids' character and effort. Shoot, we kept sticking around in that game and gave ourselves a chance to win on an ugly night.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, and so that was just a character deal of our team to give our chance still a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Roswell, it's just
one of those deals
when momentum, and we just could never get a play to stop that momentum.
And you know, I've used that talking to folks before. If you don't believe that momentum can change the outcome of that game by itself, should illustrate that.
Well, I can tell you in 1986, right here in our stadium.
Oh, I know. We'll talk about that.
I y'all. Yeah, y'all gonna have to do a top 10 list with the amount of games y'all would have.
It ain't.
I'll tell you
but I'm gonna tell you, Coach, Mayor should have us as our number one about 5 times.
Jamie, you took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was about to say. So let me tell you something now. You ask some other coaches about this, there's gonna be a ton of coaches say Thomas County Central.
You are correct. You are correct.
John Reed gonna be one of them 2 years ago.
Yep, you're right.
And so
you're right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people say Central on that answer.
You're right. Well, Coach, go on. Enjoy your evening, man. Thanks again for calling, and we'll catch up with you in 2 weeks and see what we got going on.
Hi, brother. I just walked in the ballpark to see if Coop doing anything on this baseball field.
There you go. Perfect. Go tell him to take care of business.
All right. See y'all.
Take care,
Coach.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I tell you, Coach Rogers, man, he does so much for our kids.
Yeah.
He's
really invested.
He's looking. I guarantee on the way home he was thinking of the next thing that he could do.
Kasey, if you'll text.
As hard as those guys are working.
That was Lovejoy, I'm sure.
It was.
Yeah, we'll get him. He was trying. He called whenever I told him to call. Yeah. You talk about a legend of the nest.
I'm calling him.
Okay. Let's see if we can get him on here.
There he is.
What's up, Coach?
What's up, Coach?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good. Listen, and I apologize. Coach Rogers was trying to load everybody on the buses getting up from FSU, and he was running late. He called about 7:35, so that's why when you were calling, he was still on here.
Yeah, no problem.
And no problem. He when he starts talking about stuff, he can elaborate. Let's just put it that way. You know what I'm saying?
He has a lot of good stuff to talk about.
That's right.
Well, speaking of a lot of good stuff to talk about, Coach. Now, Coach, the track team right now, incredible.
They're on fire.
Yeah, we are having a decent year so far.
Decent.
Decent.
Man, you got folks breaking records left and right.
But you know, I went back and did a little research today. So since and I'm gonna give y'all some little quick updates to maybe track gets overlooked sometime, but we've been doing some pretty good things. So, you know, in 21, and I'm gonna start back from there for a moment.
Okay.
We had Tykeem Wallace who set the new school record in the 100 and 200. And actually wound up being the fastest man in the state because he got invited to the Night of Champions.
Wow.
In Atlanta. That
I remember that.
All of the winners from every classification run against each other, and he won that.
Yep.
And that same year, Ethan Phillips set the record in the 110 hurdles, and he also got invited to that meet as well, but he was injured and wasn't able to compete.
Remember that.
So. 23, our 4x1 team set a new record. 23, also the 4x8 team set a new record. And in 23, Adam Hopkins set a long jump record that had been standing since 1975 by Terry White.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that same year, Hunter Smith set a meet at the freshman-sophomore record at the freshman-sophomore meet at Childs. That was held by Thomas County's own Ray Drew since 2009.
Hey, okay.
With the discus?
So, shot put.
Shot put, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And in 24, we had the boys 4x2 team that set the new school record. And also we had our first high school track All-American. That was Devin Ross.
Yeah.
And the 4x18 set a new record that year, which was broken again this year by the boys, the current boys 4x18.
Yeah.
And also this year our 4x2 girls established a new record. So we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's an impressive run. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we're hoping that with these SwarmCasts that we can make it to where stuff don't get overlooked.
Yeah.
And we bring these things to the forefront, and having awesome coaches like yourself call in and love on these kids. That's what we need to do.
I say this now. It's not because of lack of effort, because Randy does send out the emails. Mm-hmm. He sends them out and asks if we have any exciting news. And I always forward it to the administration at the high school and to the news for you at the high school, but I never share it with you guys. So I guess I need to make sure I include you all.
No, that's fine. Listen, I'd rather have you come on calling and talking to us is what I'd rather have you do.
Me too.
Yeah, much better. I think all of us are pretty good at filling the air, so it's not like we're going to have a lack of something to say. But it's been really cool watching the progress of these kids over the years. And again, I got to tell you, it did my heart good a couple of weeks back. Lori Loring got a photograph of you and Johnny Cooksey and Chester Hightower out there working, and I thought, that's pretty sporty right there. That's got to be neat for you working with those guys.
And listen, I tell the kids, they don't understand the value of having somebody that's done it.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the track, but just to know what it's like to be a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that with Coach Cooksey and with Coach Hightower.
And Coach Lovejoy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. but listen, but those guys are a great asset because, again, they can identify with the kids. They do a great job of working with our athletes. And, again, when Chester was finally able to come back home and be a Yellow Jacket, I mean, he brings so much to the table because not just a college athlete, but a college track athlete.
Yep.
That brings a whole lot. Because, I've been doing this for 19 years, and here's what I've learned, that I don't know it all, and we can all learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that I've had over the years with the coaches that have been a part of the staff for a few years, like Coach Cooksey and Coach LaWanda O'Neal, who helps with our girls.
Mm-hmm.
They do a good job of staying in my ear, and sometimes, I listen. And it's always good to hear somebody else's perspective. So, and anything I can try to learn from somebody else, man, I become a sponge. So I was excited from the moment I knew Chester was coming back, because I knew there was a lot that he could add to the program.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's easy to be excited about learning from folks when they've got something of real value to bring to you to learn now. Flat out.
That's right.
And all Yellow Jackets too.
That's right.
Let me ask you this. I want to ask you real quick. Is there anybody, because I asked Coach Rogers this, and actually I've asked Coach Jones about this with the baseball team, is there anybody that has stepped up and kind of pleasantly surprised you this year? Is there anybody you look at and you go, you know what? Now they may have exceeded what I was hoping to get from them.
I wouldn't say exceeded, but I tell you, there are a couple of guys. I'll start with the guys first that have, I think it's just a matter of maturity.
Mm-hmm.
They matured some this year, and we always tell them, all hard work yields a profit. So when they put in the work, it doesn't surprise the efforts, but when you see them finally embrace that, it's a joy.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Thompson has been one of them, because Wayne has been a great athlete over the years for us, but this year he's just been more focused and more consistent. And JB as well, JB Watkins. And listen, and I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna hear some big things from those two guys the rest of the season. If they continue to work and all goes well and no injuries, and if they keep working the way that they're working, because they've I think sometimes they don't realize the success that they can have and how good they can be.
Yep.
And I think maybe with both those guys, the lights are coming on. And with the girls, I think there's been some maturity on that side as well. We knew, what we got when not only did we gain something when Chester came back, But with his daughter, funny.
Zakaria.
on the girl side, listen, it's amazing.
She's about as fast as her daddy
I'm
was.
gonna
I
say
hate
she
breaking
is
that to him.
It's definitely in the genes.
You ain't kidding.
I gotta watch him
And
Thursday.
she comes out and she just comes to work.
Mm-hmm.
And because of her dedication, I mean, she does it, pretty much almost year round. So we just look for her just to be a leader by example, and just to show, everybody else what can happen, when you put in that work.
And it's got to feel good for you, Coach, to be able to step into these meets with these kids and know we got a shot at doing really, really good. It doesn't matter who you're lining up against.
Yes. And that's what we talk about as a staff. As a matter of fact, before I got on the cast tonight, we met as a staff and we talked about that even tonight. And it was ironic. And I told them as I looked at what we had did in the past and looked at some of those records and the people that did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's surprising because you hear the Devin Rosses, but then there were some people that were kind of no names that were shockers.
Mm-hmm.
And there were years we were like, well, man, we don't know what we're going to do for a relay. And those guys wound up to be record setters.
Right.
We talked about how much talent that we have this year and how good we could really be. And so I thank God again for the coaches that do a great job. And I'm fortunate enough that I have enough coaches that we can do that, because a lot of times we go to meets and there are only 2 or 3 guys. I have myself in Chester, Coach Cooksey, Coach O'Neill, Coach Doug Thompson work with the distance people. I got Ernest McCormick that's helping, another former Yellow Jacket.
Yep.
And here's the ironic thing: when you get to the point where you got kids that you coach and they come back and coach with you.
Yep.
Ernest was one of my state qualifiers one year when I came back in the triple jump.
I remember.
And so
heck of an athlete.
So we got so we have a great staff that do a great job, and we're able, to divide up the work, and so that we can get the most out of these kids. So, and even Coach David Johnson, who's retired, comes back and helps with our throwers.
I've seen him out here behind Bishop Hall working with the discus and
he loves
shot
it. He loves it. I don't have to beg him to come. I mean, he loves it every year. Every year he's gonna say, Coach, I'd love to come back if you're gonna invite me back. And I'll tell him, Coach, as long as you want to come back, you can come back.
Amen.
That's awesome.
So that's great. And they do a good job again with the kids. So it's been awesome to see that. And a lot of times we have kids that'll come back and they'll help coach. One of my pole vaulters came back today, and I said, "Man, I'm glad you showed up. Where you been?" I said, "Go over there and talk with those pole vaulters."
That's awesome.
So,
well, let me ask you let me have a little fun with you, Coach.
All
right. I just want to put it out there. I mean,
okay.
How good a corner could Wayne Thompson be?
Here we go. I knew it was coming.
Listen, Wayne is a heck of an athlete.
And Eli talks about him all the time, Coach. He said, you just don't know how good he is.
He's a heck of an athlete, man. It's certainly when you can have a kid that's athletic, you can work with them.
Yeah.
Man, he's awesome.
And so he could, man. I think Wayne would probably help us in a lot of areas on the football field.
But the thing is,
it's impressive what he's done.
Right. if his heart's tracking, that's where he wants to be. That's where he needs to be.
Like I said, I was having fun.
No, hypothetical.
Having fun there.
Yeah, I got you.
But listen now, you never know with a kid, because here's the thing, and they'll tell you this. Even our football players, I don't recruit none of those kids to come to track.
Right.
And I'll even say that at practice. How many of y'all out here because I asked you to?
Yeah.
Because I want them to be there because they want to be there.
Exactly.
Well,
because we have the same mindset as football.
Yeah.
And so they need to know that and understand that. And this is one thing I like about the football players, because when they come to track, they've already heard it takes what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
So they come with a mindset knowing, what's required of you to be a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
If you're going to be great, it requires something.
That's right.
I mean, you can be good and you can be average and not do too much. Some of that you can do off of talent. But if you want to be great, it's going to take a great effort. And so, I think, a lot of kids come out and they do that.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
Well, I've always heard, Coach, that there's great gain to be had with a football player running track.
Yep.
To help. There's a way to run.
Conditioning.
There's a way to run and or be relaxed when you run, and I think that they can be taught a lot of that and make them better athletes.
Yes, I believe track helps every sport.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe this, and I'm gonna tell y'all this is, as good a football player as I, want to think I was. Larry Green kind of forced all of us that, you wasn't doing a spring sport, which I did baseball as well. But he encouraged us to run track because he said, track is going to help you be a better athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And naturally, I wasn't one of those fast guys. I played football with some fast guys, some Marvin Davis and Vernon Jones, who were like 9'7" guys in the 100. Timothy Smart, Anthony Smart. Randy probably remember some of those names.
I remember
those were fast guys.
Yeah.
I couldn't run with those guys, but me running against them and competing against them every day made me faster and it made me better.
Yep.
Iron
sharpens iron.
A lot of sport. Yes.
Iron sharpens iron. When are you guys in action again, Coach?
We actually will go Saturday to Godby.
Okay.
This will be our final regular season meet.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, it's on the verge of spring break.
Right.
So we're going to be short some of our kids. And also, we have grad match going on.
Yeah.
But after that, it will be region.
Okay.
And so I always tell them this too, track is, like football. In football, you have fall break. And, fall break is for everybody that doesn't play football. So it's kind of like that in the spring with track. Spring break is for everybody that doesn't have track.
That's right.
We're at our championship stage of our season.
Yep.
And kids don't want to lose the games that they put in all work because the way our workouts are designed, it's in a progression.
Well, Coach,
we have a preseason competition and championship phase, and we're not championship phase now. So
that's right. Well, Coach, where will the region meet be held? Is it still in Albany? Or
region this year is being hosted by Lee County.
Okay.
But it will be at Hugh Mills for some reason. I never got the understanding of why, but it will be hosted by Lee County at Hugh Mills and also in conjunction with 3A. Okay. So imagine that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
so you're talking a pile of schools there at one time.
Yeah, because normally when you have a state meet, you'll have a couple of classes that'll be at a state meet together.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting for the host region like that.
And when is that?
This will be the 21st and the 23rd, a Monday and a Wednesday.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna run the question by you that I ran by Coach Rogers a little while ago, and this is kind of the question of the night. You get to go back and redo one game from your playing or coaching career. Which one do you go back to and why?
Wow.
That's a deep question now.
That is a deep question. Well, here's the one that we always remember, and they told us this when we played, and it would be my last game in high school. We lost the Lions on the last second field goal because they threw a Hail Mary pass to the sideline, which to this day, one of those questionable calls. We still think the guy foot was on the out of bounds, but because that determined who was going to go to the playoffs. And we had a pretty decent team that year.
Yeah, you did.
I had 2 Super Bowl winners on that team.
Yep.
So I had Jesse Small and Myron Guyton on that team. Yep. There was Bruce Cunnings on that team. There was a bunch of guys that wound up about 13 of us that got scholarships that went off to play college ball off of that team. So we had a pretty talented team there.
Was that 84 or 83?
That was 84. That would have been 84, but the graduating class of 85.
Okay.
But the 84 season. So Yeah, that one kind of stuck with all of us. We always kind of talk about that one.
Yeah, Coach Rogers made the comment that it's one thing when you play a game, regardless of whether you're a coach or a player, and you just get beat. You can walk off and go, okay, I'm living with that. But those that you just knew that you had, you outplayed them, you had it in your hip pocket, and for whatever reason it just slipped through your fingers, the ones you just can't get over.
Those are the tough ones.
Yep, and here, 30, 40 years past the point, we're still talking about them.
We still talk about them, yeah. They stick with you.
Yep. Well, listen, Coach, thank you so much for calling. Congratulations on a great season. And we'll get you to call back in 2 weeks now, and we'll kind of get an update on where we're at, and we'll talk about region and how that's lining up.
Well, I thank you guys for reaching out and giving us the opportunity to share. And, just kind of keep your ears open, and we hope, if all goes well and good Lord grants us favor and nobody gets hurt, we can have some more good news coming and some more record breakers coming.
There you go.
Because we're on the verge. We're on the verge of a couple of more records.
Oh, I know. Just knocking on the door. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And of course, man, thank you for everything that you and those coaches are doing now. I know that you're not going to take any credit for it, but somebody's got to be driving the bus, and you guys are doing a fantastic job guiding those kids, and that's awesome.
Yep. I tell everybody we got the best school system in the land because you get support from the administration, the AD, to everybody.
Yep.
Is very supportive, so that means a lot.
Yep. From top to bottom.
I had to give that talk to the kids the other day. You don't understand what it means to be a Yellow Jacket. You get support that other people don't get. So,
and you don't have to go real far to find that either.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Just leave it at that.
Yes.
Hey, Coach, take care, man. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank
we'll
you.
We'll give you 2 weeks. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Coach.
Mm-hmm.
A Yellow Jacket legend right there.
Hey, blue and gold through and
through.
Look, if y'all haven't gone to watch the track meets, them kids are quick.
Kasey comes into my office because they had this the thing before the break or whatever it was they did here. He goes walking in there, and I hadn't even said anything to him. He said, "Have you seen the track team?" And I went, "Well," he said, "They can fly.
Yeah,
every one of them can fly."
I don't know if I can name all 4, but I know that Deuce and
JB.
Wayne Thompson and JB. I can't remember the 4th guy, but that 4x100 team is special.
It's not Jester, is it? Donnell Jester?
It may be.
It may be.
Could be a
it's enough.
Or one
Eddie.
Of Eddie.
It
Guerra.
is.
Yeah, that's it.
Guerra.
Yeah.
I got to go. I may try to go to the state.
Yeah, that's
to the
region
meet. I may.
So I was up there Thursday at the meet doing some AV stuff for them and watching. So we printed live scores up there. So throughout the night, you could see who was in first and all that. The girls had it clearly won. They were just ahead of everybody. The boys,
as a team.
Yeah. So total points. The boys had an 8-point between first and second.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how close it was. And I mean they're fast.
Yep.
But yeah, so
that's awesome.
I heard it's impressive.
It is. They didn't even do all the events. So that was.
Before we get into our stuff to wrap up, one more time, thanks to Dairy Queen and happy birthday, 85th birthday to Dairy Queen. I think Bryce's is empty.
And Greg, if you're listening, mine's empty.
Now, I'm still working on mine.
You've been talking too much.
I've been talking too much. You're right. This is the birthday cake. Confetti. Blizzard.
I know I messed it up earlier, so I don't even want to tell you what I was going to say.
Things are really good. Really good. A couple of other things before we get into what game you would go back and redo, because y'all need to think about that. And I'm going to throw you a curveball with mine.
Well,
because and Coach Rogers is right from a football standpoint. My gosh, we could be here all night talking about it. But anyway, I want to mention that our theater department is having a production of Peter Pan. 45 students involved in the production. It'll be Thursday, May 1st, Friday, May 2nd at the Center for the Arts downtown. $10 for students, $12 for adults. Come out and support the talented students. Enjoy an evening of adventure and pixie dust.
They've been working hard.
Yep. Hey, you got that pixie dust sound effect over there? You remember which one it is?
No.
Oh, he's going to hit the wrong button. He's going to hit the wrong button.
When you hear the pixie dust, turn the page. You remember those?
I do.
People don't remember that stuff.
I do.
Man.
I do. It was a book.
They ain't never.
Yeah, you lost me on that one.
Yeah, we're old. And then Miss Kelly Arno, who teaches French over at Thomas County Central, is running an international travel opportunity for students and adults in Thomas County. Any student age 15 and up, no matter their school, is welcome to join the educational tours each summer. In 2026, they're taking a group to London, Normandy, which is where D-Day happened, of course. Now, you talk about a humbling thing. That's a bucket lister for me, is to see that. And Paris. There are 3 spots available for the July trip coming up to Scandinavia, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and Finland, and Iceland. You can email her at Ann Arno Abroad. That's Ann Arno Abroad, and that's ANARNO Abroad at gmail.com if you're interested in traveling, or if you want to make a donation to help provide travel scholarships for students. And that's Miss
awesome.
Kelly Arno. Isn't that neat?
And that's awesome to know that you got something like that that you can take a part in.
Yep. And some of the photographs, the kids, they've gone to Greece and stuff before. Really, really cool.
Yep.
Okay, so you get to go back and play one game from the past and redo it in your experience. And the folks that are watching, I know every one of y'all.
So it's got to be our experience, not
it can't be
favorite.
as a fan or
Yeah.
I mean, you can be as a fan. I mean, as a supporter. It can't be a Florida game because I know.
Hey, well, I'm going to tell you, I got let it out. It was 2020 to shoot through at LSU when he nailed a 75-yard field goal in a fog. I can tell you right now.
You ain't kidding.
The shoe.
If I was there,
LSU.
if I was there, I'd hit him with a Gatorade bottle in mid run.
Hey, I'm telling you right now. I love all my Gators, but Marco Wilson.
I don't love him.
Is that when he tore his spleen up, or was that?
No, that was another LSU game. When I threw the lawn chair across the yard, Randy said, "What's that? Is that Santa Claus notices a yard lawn chair going across?"
That's number 2 on the list.
That was the one I was going to talk about.
Well, maybe I didn't see that.
That was one where he did.
It was like 2013.
It was where they were going to, in the fake field goal where he tossed over his head the kicker
over his shoulder.
No. The spleen thing happened where we had to shoot out. Where we had to shoot out in Baton Rouge down there, and it was like 35-42, and we finally tied it up, and they turned the ball over, and they said that we stepped out of bounds, or his hands out of the ball's out of bounds when it was clearly not. We would have got the ball back, went out and scored.
Why is the spleen thing?
Because he had to have his spleen removed after he tore his spleen.
Because he got mad at it, threw a chair out there, and then the next week it ruptured.
I know I always sound
not
calm.
throwing
spleen bean.
Not throwing him under the bus or nothing.
Okay. So
spleen.
now for Central stuff though.
Okay.
What Jamie, and I know where you're going to go, but tell me now, as a player or a fan, you get to go redo one of them. What would it be?
Well, as a fan, the 86 team or 87, the Worth County thing.
One of the two of them.
Oh my God!
Semifinals.
And I'm telling y'all right now,
had
no excuses.
Yep.
We were playing on the worst field that we could have ever played on.
At Worth County. Yeah, it was bad.
Well, the one we lost here,
it was muddy
because they would have done better off to just put carpet out there and just let us play on some carpet.
It had been raining the whole week.
We practiced every day
on that field.
Yep. And it's just, I think we turned the ball over 5 times in the second half. It had been raining. It was
the only time I've ever seen Charlie Ward Jr. where he did not want the ball. It was almost like there was a jinx there, almost like a mojo.
Now
that was 86.
In Worth County, I thought that one was going right to script.
Yep.
Because Charlie had always done it.
Yep.
I mean, it was okay. Coach just let him go do his thing, you know. Yep. And I think Charlie went to make a move, and did he drop the ball?
Yeah, we dropped a punt too,
or maybe a punt or something. Yeah. But you can't. Yeah. Charlie Ward's so awesome, dude.
Yeah. Well, everything changed when the lights went out.
Yeah, it was
the momentum
we got hit
and everything.
With the pass right before half, and I remember standing there, and the coach says, "We just need to be careful not to fall for the pass."
Keep her head on. Keep your head level. Keep your head on straight.
That's a double pass.
Double pass.
Watch the double pass.
And
I remember hearing it plain as day. Like I could close my eyes, I could see him saying it. Watch the double pass.
Next play, it happens.
The lights go out.
Yep.
Lights came back on
after about 30 minutes in the dark.
In the dark. Their first play. Boop, boop,
pass.
Yep. Touchdown.
Yep. And from that point on, it just went downhill.
It was.
The momentum completely shifted.
Yeah, it was over.
Yep. What about y'all?
2016 Valdosta.
Yeah.
That game right there, we should have won that game.
Yeah, you're right.
You kicked it deep, ran it back. We could not keep them from scoring on kickoffs.
Yeah.
Was that the one here?
That was the one here.
Yeah.
And we should have won that thing.
Valdosta?
We
Yes.
ran up and down.
Yes.
The
Is
field.
that where that dude just struck right up through where we
Right,
went in the
yes.
hole and he come out the other side
Yep,
with the ball?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we run the ball and they come right back where he comes from.
Yep.
Coach's
Yeah.
son was quarterback.
Yep, it was.
Sure
Tate
was.
Rodemaker.
Tate
Yep.
Rodemaker.
He was good.
Yeah, we should.
That was the year they won the state championship, and we should have beat them.
Yeah.
We had them.
There should be.
That,
I got-
in case
I
you can't
got
tell,
one
I get
more for you.
frustrated.
Okay. Hold that one,
We're
Bryce.
we're trying to go 10-0 for the first time in the region. Well, I think maybe it's the second time ever. We're playing Worth County on our field. Down to less than 2 minutes to go. We got the ball.
What year are you talking about? This is 94? When we fumbled the ball at the end of it?
We fumbled the ball. They scoop and scored.
That was 94. Yeah, that was 94. Because then we had to turn around and go right back up there and play them in the
beat
playoffs.
them on a pass, baby.
Yep. to Neil Davis.
I'm serious.
To Neil Davis.
They had that linebacker, man. He was unbelievable.
The one with FSU.
No, that
Oh, that was the one from
No.
86 and 87. That was
this kid
Peterman.
Right, Peterson.
Peterman. Kevin Peterman.
Oh my God, he was the baddest.
They had two great
linebacker I've ever
linebackers.
seen.
Yeah. But yeah, that was 94. Sure
Yep.
was.
That I tell you, when we went up there to play them, I think we beat them on a pass. We beat them 10-7. We beat them on a pass.
Yep.
And after we scored the pass, I don't think either team scored in the second half.
Nope. It was a defensive
Yeah.
battle from that point on.
Wow.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
But we had them at the end, and I think it was Johnny Cooksey that fumbled it.
Yeah, Ducky Wall come in there.
He was
He
the
had
sports
done-
guy from Channel 10.
He had done picked Worth County to beat us. Is that the night the bullet happened to?
Yes, matter of fact.
Coach Green.
Yeah, they had a coach that handed out silver bullets, and our coaches handed it back to him and said, I think y'all need these. Yeah, trying to be smart.
To my cousin, Neil Roberts.
Yeah, I remember it. For those who don't remember Ducky Wall, let me just share this.
Oh, Ducky.
Ducky was the sports guy at WALB in Albany. Ducky was a great guy. I got to meet him a couple of times.
Ducky was good. Now.
But if it was not a good old South Georgia name, he was done. And I would wait until Wimbledon came along to hear him try to pronounce Martina Navratilova and Hannah Monlikova and all those. He would say, and over there in England at the Wimbledon tennis, well, y'all can see who won. And they just put the names up on the screen, and he wouldn't even try to say them. He'd just butcher them to death.
Oh, God.
Poor old Ducky.
He
He's a
was
good guy.
though,
Yeah, he's a
man.
good guy. Okay, so what's yours?
I'm gonna be boring. I'm gonna pick Roswell too because I blame myself for that one because I chose a different opportunity that day.
And
Yeah.
Jamie didn't have steak.
Yeah.
I chose
Hush. You weren't supposed to say that.
so I chose to go
Oh.
to the and I'm gonna blame this on Florida State. Here you go. We had
that was
Friday
right.
night
That was
game.
Black
Friday night
Friday.
game.
Yeah.
Something good.
Yeah.
we did
Florida
then.
State.
Yeah.
I got to blame it on that. Then it made me have a choice, and I got to go sit on row 4 at Florida State game in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And I went, and I blame myself because I shouldn't have went. Because Florida lost and Central lost, isn't it?
Well, doggone you.
So-
And if you'd been here, both
Hey.
of them would have won.
I'm just glad you got a good close
Florida would have still lost.
seat to watch it.
Yeah.
That season probably so.
Yeah.
That was 21 or
Yeah.
22. So, yeah.
But let me ask y'all something. Did any of y'all even think that we would be in that spot?
With Roswell?
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
that year was magical. I mean, and I know everybody goes on about the 23 season. That was one of the best teams we've ever had. But the 22
Absolutely.
season, based on what we had gone through the previous couple of years,
Oh, man.
I don't think anybody saw that coming. But
Okay.
once we got momentum behind us, I felt like we could win the whole
Yeah,
damn
about to
thing.
say,
If
I
it
did
probably
too,
wasn't
like-
for Roswell, you probably wouldn't have been where we were in
But
23
going
because
into
it gave
that-
them a drive.
That's right.
Yeah,
You're
but
right.
Going into that game, I thought we would handle business.
Yep.
And we did.
We did.
Yeah.
But
It
it's
was
not for 4
well,
quarters.
It was 24-6 at halftime and 31-13 with
Yeah.
4 minutes to go
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter or
Yeah.
third quarter.
It
And then
was-
it just fell
It was
apart.
almost identical
Yep.
to St. Pius.
Yep. And
Yeah.
in 2006.
And another one. What was that year? It was probably like 2013 or 14. It was the playoffs, and like I think Adam was the quarterback. He got hurt.
As Harris County.
Mm.
and like
Then we
2
went-
other running backs got hurt. Or
Harris
something.
County.
That was,
That's why we don't say Harris.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Big- and
nothing-
that would have been one of my choices, but I'm going to throw y'all a curveball.
Oh,
If
here we
I
go.
could go back and redo a game, it would be the 1987 state championship game for the girls basketball team.
Oh, up in Georgia Tech.
Yeah, we played Chattooga at Georgia Tech with one of the, if not the best basketball team we've probably ever had here.
Yep.
Gwen Thomas, Selena Bynum,
Absolutely.
Tracy Linton. I mean, just loaded. And got up there and had one of those games where we just could. We were talking about baseball and how bipolar baseball can be. If you are cold in a basketball game, it's over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we had one of those days where we couldn't have thrown it in the ocean.
It'd be like Tennessee shoot 28% from
exactly.
the field last weekend.
Yeah, after they just blew up the previous weekend or Alabama.
Yeah. Who was the highest scoring highest scoring offense?
Now that was great. That game was crazy. And Houston shot horrible too. They were like 48 or something.
They had not impressed me until this last game.
Yeah. Kasey, did we lose it online? Or okay.
No, it's still going.
Okay.
I refreshed the wrong page.
Okay, that's cool. But
that is a good one.
That 87 state championship game. But I'm with you. If there's a football game that I could go back and read, it'd be the 87 semifinals because we were the best team on the field.
We were the best team
in the state. Any classification that year.
We play on a field that's got grass or some sort of something, gravel.
Yeah,
I mean, so
sand, something. Yeah,
I mean, I remember watching the film and. The offensive line would try to come off the ball. We had a massive offensive line, man.
Yep. Average 300 pounds.
I just changed my answer.
Okay.
They'd fall down.
The championship against Ware County.
Oh, man.
You mean the semifinals?
You're talking about the semifinals of 2007 with the
Braille? Yeah. Where he dropped the pass?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we lost, 17-20 or something?
Yeah.
Yep. And we were by far, I thought, the better team, too.
It was 13-7, I think, something like that.
And then Ware beat the brakes off the team next week.
Yeah. Northside. They beat Northside, Warner Robins.
Remember, I was the water boy that year.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
I went up there,
Kasey, you got one that sticks out?
You got a kid.
Not really.
I mean, Roswell. But
yeah, Roswell. That's a good one. That's a good one. And I would almost go to the 2002 state championship game, too, with Eric and all those. If
we played Thompson?
Yep.
Well, over there at the brick house?
You know where that's at over there?
Hey, I've heard it's a nice place. I ain't been.
I'll get you a tour.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, the week before when we beat Marist, and Eric rolled his ankle a half dozen times in that game, if we could keep him from rolling his ankle,
we got a shot.
Because literally in 4 days, we had to transform from a veer team to a shotgun team.
Yep.
Where we weren't running anything. It was all because he couldn't run.
Had a daggum.
Cole Greer
had a
fantastic
massive
night.
You ever realize if we sit here long enough, we'll think it will.
Yeah, you're right. Guys, this is 8:25. What are we doing?
I love Thomas County Central sports in general.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I enjoy the conversation. I was just saying, if we sit here long, we can talk about every possible thing you could.
And we may bring this up again because that's a really cool topic. And it could be something that's anyway. We'll talk about it. Good stuff, though, guys.
Oh, I wanted to bring up too.
Bring it up.
Seen Ricky Stacy this week.
Yes.
And Ricky Stacy said he would love to come join us one night.
Ricky was a state championship quarterback back in the 90s.
Or we could get him to call in.
Well, what we're going to do in the fall, and Jamie and I talked about this, we're going to get one of the legends from the nest every week to call in. And that could be Ricky Stacy. That could be Ricky Dean. That could be LaShawn Christopher. That could be anybody.
It could be Ricky Fulton.
It could be Ricky Fulton. Could be Adam Hopkins. Could be Ray Drew, although we'd be here all night if we had Ray Drew on here. A-Hop, who I saw at the high school a couple weeks ago and didn't even recognize him.
Did you know that he had a face?
I'd never seen his face before.
That's the way I felt, too. I seen the picture, I was like, what?
Well, in fact, him and Gabe were at the high school, and they did a FaceTime thing with me, and when Adam got on there, I went, who is that? And I went, wait a minute, because he didn't have all of his dreads in his face.
Right. Man, how cool is it that we get people all the time coming around?
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah. All right, listen, y'all. All right. Thank you so much again. Thanks to Dairy Queen. 85th birthday. And, okay, Ashley Sowell wants us to mention the TCCHS Athletic Booster Golf Tournament.
Yep.
Saturday, May 10th at Country Oaks. If you're interested in sponsoring a golf hole or playing in the game, please reach out. You can email me. You can reach out to Ashley. You can reach out to Donnie Powell, Bill Carson, all the folks that are part of it.
Let me just share something right quick. So people know what goes on with that golf tournament. That is our biggest fundraiser for our
Booster Club.
Sports.
Yep.
In general.
Yep.
A lot of high school. You heard Coach Lovejoy mention how special it is to be a Yellow Jacket. Not everybody gets a letter of his jacket.
Yep. Paid for.
Everybody can get one.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you got to write a check for it.
Yeah.
We
Right.
don't have to do that here.
Yep, yep.
That is a blessing.
And that's from the boosters.
This is from the boosters. This is why it's so important. We need that tournament to be as full as we can get it. And we need to that is a huge fundraiser for our boosters to make sure our kids get taken care of while they're performing.
And they need not only players, but again, whole sponsors for businesses. And it is a tax write-off because the boosters are a 501c3 nonprofit, and you can write that off in your taxes.
And a great course, too. I just went there before I got here. I went to the range.
Really?
The course is in good shape. I watched Eli and them play Thomasville in golf this week. I can't remember. I don't know what we ended up, but the course is in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Well,
I can tell you,
got good rain. And
then,
all
too,
that,
something I noticed today, I hadn't been out there in a handful of months, so I may be way behind on this, but they have a turf strip out there. Like on the range, they have a turf strip now instead of, where they move for all the divots and stuff. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, again, if you're interested in helping out with that, reach out to somebody in the Athletic Booster Club. Again, that will be Saturday, May the 10th. So we still got some time, but I'm sure that they would appreciate the help. Guys, awesome, as always. And we appreciate y'all tuning in. We will not be here next week. Next week is spring break. Brian's going to be out in the middle of the ocean with his better half, wearing that shirt right there.
No, I know I won't be wearing this one. I can tell you that much.
You won't catch no fish.
No,
you can run, but you may never leave.
Yeah. That's the darn truth. Golly, but we will be back in 2 weeks. We'll be, okay. We'll be back in 2 weeks, which will be, I think, the 17th.
Yep.
And we'll catch up with Coach Lovejoy, and we'll talk to Coach Rogers as we start heading down toward the short rows. I mean, the school year literally has about 6 weeks left in it. And then we're at the end of May. And we've got the spring game within the next 7 weeks for the football team, which is going to be fun to watch. A lot to talk about. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. Guys, have yourself a great weekend. Have a great spring break. And for all the whole crew here, go Jackets.